What is the image that is most vivid to you about your friend Senator Kennedy, one we might not know?
Well, he was a happy warrior. I've seen him come to the floor of the Senate and wait patiently for a couple hours, and when others who had been in line to speak before him, and then rise from his chair. And many times there was no need for the microphone system. We all heard him very clearly. As soon as his passion was subsided, which would be after he finished speaking, he returned to the gregarious and friendly individual that he was. But the other aspect is that Ted Kennedy's word was his bond.
I want to turn to health care if I can, because there's a lot of talk this morning about naming a health care reform bill after him, about an obligation to do something about the 47 million uninsured for his sake, for his legacy. Do you feel a personal responsibility to make sure that something happens by the end of this year on health care reform for him?
Well, obviously, if there is health care reform, Ted Kennedy has a long history of being involved in this issue in a variety of ways. I would hope that his example of working together and coming together in the spirit of compromise for the sake and good of the American people would have some effect.
Do you feel, in any sense, though, a personal responsibility to try to make sure something happens?
No, I feel a personal responsibility to try to conduct myself in many respects the way that Ted Kennedy did on a broad variety of issues, and that is to be willing to sit down and work with the other side of the aisle to try to come up with agreement and compromise.
You have spoken about the joyful warrior, Senator Kennedy. Were you part of his singing, doing impressions of each other, long night laughter
Yes.
sessions?
Ted imitated me quite well, I must say, and he was fairly easy to mimic. But he would sometimes he would imitate some of my less than circumspect language, and also on occasion he would imitate my hand motions, my body language.
I know, Mrs. Kennedy, Vicki has asked you to speak. Do you know the first sentence? Not
yet. I've been thinking about it constantly ever since Vicki Kennedy called me and asked me. I just hope I can do him justice, or some measure of justice, because it's certainly hard to describe the individual and the man in his entirety.
Thank you so much, Senator McCain, and we are deeply grateful for this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane.